Rob DeFriese is a multi-talented artist all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. Rob is not just a professional singer-songwriter, but also a talented vocalist, bassist and guitarist. He writes and performs his own music as a solo act, and is also part of two music groups, an alternative rock trio, Ant Farm, and a blues rock cover and original music band, GC and the Rockers. Now, Ant Farm's latest album, Back to the Shore, is a 9-song album filled with emotion and passion, and the first song is called Used to Be. And Rob joins us now. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. So, how would you describe the first track from the album, Used to Be? Because it's 5 minutes long, but it doesn't feel like an eternity when you're listening to it.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know that you perceive it that way. Yeah. Yes, we do actually have a radio version, and just for the record, the band Ant Farm, we no longer exist, but I continue to shop that single Used to Be with another one on the album as well. But yeah, Used to Be, it's a breakup song. Let's just put it succinctly.
Yeah.
And so it's not a happy song, but it is intense, and people go through breakups, and I feel like that's part of our healing process. We go through the catharsis of a breakup, or we go through the kind of licking our wounds, so to speak, and that's part of that.
So you say that Ant Farm no longer exists. I guess, are you still interested in promoting Ant Farm's work and reminding people that they did exist once upon a time?
Well, I just, in the extent that we've got an album out, that I recorded the album, my latest work with them. That's how it's being promoted at the moment.
So what was the inspiration behind the overall album, Back to the Shore?
It's actually because of a breakup. I got 3 songs out of it. I like so that's pretty good economy. I like to think I covered 3 of the 5 stages of grief. I've got one that's kind of angry, and one that's kind of sad, and then one that's more or less an acceptance. So that's the way I think about it. And Back to Shore is that acceptance song of it's over and it's time to move on.
Are you going to start deliberately breaking up with people to get inspiration now? Because it worked for you last time.
No, I hope not. So no, I'm just gonna. They say some of the best songs come out of those kinds of occasions, heartbreaking occasions in life. So that's definitely true in this case. But the whole album is not a bummer. There's the 3 songs that are about that, and then the rest, I feel like the album ends on a very happy note.
What is that happy note? Is it an A, B, F sharp?
Yeah, G sharp.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding. But I guess they do talk about that, don't they? There's certain keys that are happy or not, but I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing. You've got to think about when you're writing a breakup song, maybe in particular, whether it's going to be a major key or a minor key, and you're going to have the tone right.
Right. Yeah. Well, definitely when it's sad or even angry, you tend to go with a minor key. And the major songs, the major keys sound happier, so that's what you want to go with if you're trying to lift the mood.
How did you get interested in making music back in the day?
It's just been around me all my life. I started, even just a few years old. I was kind of I was the first grandchild on both sides of the family, so it lent itself to me being a ham. So, and there was always I come from musical families, always music being played. Of course, the Beatles. That's my earliest influence that I can remember. And my aunts and uncles on my mom's side, they were always listening to the Beatles.
Wow.
And the Beach Boys and things like that back in the day. And I just pursued it. Once I got into high school, I had that option. You have your electives, the elective classes you can take. And I was able to get into the choir. And actually, I was in the marching band and orchestra as well. So I sang choir, and I got the most out of singing. That was the most fun for me. So and then I just kept on through. I kept on into college. I was a vocal performance major. And did some music theater stuff and opera workshop and things like that. And when I ran into financial trouble as far as staying in college. So I quit that and I ended up going back for a different major. But here I am back in music.
Yeah. And the Beatles is such a big influence for everyone. It's almost like a cliche, isn't it? The amount of people who say them. I wonder if there's a good proportion of these people that are just saying it because they're so big, and maybe some people haven't explored broader music. But I guess for you, is it completely genuine?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's the music I remember listening to. I think, what was it? What was the album that had just come out when I was born? I think the White Album had just recently come out before that. And it just, I just remember listening to it all the time. And there was other, Simon and Garfunkel was big at that time, and my parents listened to that as well. So they Joni Mitchell, they were listening to Joni Mitchell and James Taylor, and that's the most music that I remember is from that band, the Beatles. So
well, what's coming up for you? Because obviously Ant Farm is defunct. So are there other bands that you're working with or solo stuff that you're working on just now?
Yes, I have songs that I've written that I haven't recorded yet. I'm negotiating with the guys from Ant Farm to see if maybe they will play, because we had started to learn some of my new material. But either way, my plan is to get my new songs recorded. Yeah, and I've got a handful, and then some from back in the Ant Farm days that never really got a decent recording made, songs that I had written. So I'd like to maybe put together an album with those songs on it.
And you say you've got a handful of songs. What does that actually mean in terms of music? Because in a hand, you could have a CD of hundreds.
That's true. Well, with a thumb drive, you could have thousands.
Oh, yeah, you could.
So when I say handful, I mean like 4 or 5. So
one for every finger.
Yeah, there you go. One for every digit. Okay, yeah, and so plus those that would be the new material, a handful of songs, and then there's songs from our old catalog, songs that I'm proud of, but just never got the attention that I feel they deserved.
Well, in the meantime, before all this exciting stuff happens, where are we able to find the album Back to the Shore and all your previous stuff that we need to find?
You can find Back to Shore on all the major streaming platforms: Spotify, Pandora, Napster, and Apple Music, Amazon, and YouTube. By the way, I do have a YouTube channel as well. Go to Rob DeFriese Music. Now, the song that you have heard, I believe, Altitude, that's from my 2016 solo album release. And that one, some of those songs are also available for streaming or download. You can look me up. You can look that. The album is called Altitude as well. So, and it's under my name, and you can find them on those streaming platforms as well.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great to have you on. I'm going to go to the fridge and defreeze my pizza.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you for the time. I appreciate the interview.